Hello.
William, what's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good.
I
Good.
like your avatar, your bunny ears. Or
Thank
cat are they
you.
cat ears?
Yeah, I spent a very large amount of time putting it together.
I can tell. I can tell. Are you a cat boy?
I don't know if I would go as far as to say cat boy, but maybe a boy cat. I might say
A
that,
boy
a
cat.
boy cat.
All right, that works. Well, as people trickle in here, we're live on stereo. I am Kevin from Vsauce 2. With me is the amazing genius inventor, William Osman.
Oh my God. So generous.
Yes, yes. You are a genius. Every day I think about your sawdust thumbnail that you did
Yeah.
several months back. I think it might be my favorite
Y-
thumbnail on YouTube.
YouTube thumbnails are it's an art, man. I feel like every video has like a perfect title and thumbnail. I just talked to Derek about this the other day, to Veritasium.
Oh
You
yeah,
feel
he's
like
obsessed with this topic.
it's like, well, the problem is it's so effective. To spend time making good titles and thumbnails is so effective. And so it's like you can have the craziest video ever, but unless you have an awesome title and thumbnail, and I agree, like I really like the Rice Krispie thumbnail because it's so, you know, like it makes you feel something. You're just like kind of revolted. You're kind of like it's relatable. The idea of like filling food with non in air quote edible stuff. I call that
Yeah,
eatable. Um, and it's like it just makes you like, man, I wonder. I kind of want to know the answer.
yeah, yeah. There's some old Simpsons joke where like lunch lady Doris is grinding up gym mats or something to use
Yeah,
as filler in like the cafeteria food. It
I
has a
have
little
so
bit of
many.
a
I have like many other ideas in the same vein that I really want to do.
well, it could be a whole series for you.
Right? Well, it's like
Yeah.
food, but in air quotes.
Um, wow, we have a bunch of people that have joined us. We got some questions piling up. Thanks to everybody for hanging out with us here on Stereo. Let's check out your questions.
What is up? And have a good day.
Nothing
What is
much, but
up?
thank you very much.
That is nice, straight and to the point.
Um, are you going to do any new videos?
Is that
Are you going to do any new videos, William?
Yeah, I'm working on one now. The problem with making videos is like depending on what you do, they can be very easy or very hard. And right now I picked one that's very hard.
The execution of it is really hard.
I don't know, just I mean, you know how it is. It's like most of the work I bet for your stuff is before you even start filming.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a lot of pre-production, a lot of research, a lot of really just kind of figuring out what would make a good video, if that makes sense. A lot of
Right.
just kind of thinking, is this interesting? What kind of,
Yeah. What's your title and thumbnail gonna be?
yeah, I mean, a problem I've had for a really long time is doing that at the end. And I know that I remember Mr. Beast in particular, I think always said to start with that, to start with the
Yep.
title and the thumbnail, and then build the video around it.
Yeah, Mark does the same thing. Like
Mark
he always
Rober?
has yeah, Mark Rober. Like he always has an idea of what he's gonna do. And the video that we did with together, he had an idea of what he wanted, and he actually ended up switching to one of the photos that I took for my thumbnail.
Oh, wait. So
Yep.
did you had the same thumbnail?
Mm-mm. Yeah, basically.
Oh,
Yeah, if you go
wow.
look at his lemon battery video and my lemon battery video, the thumbnails are basically the same. Except his has like 10 times the views.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Well, did you see that the tweet that Mr. Beast did of the that channel, I believe it was in Russia, that just takes his thumbnails like wholeheartedly and just inserts
Yeah, that
themselves.
sucks. That
Yeah.
just sucks, dude. Like, it's so hard. It's so hard to come up with good, video ideas. It's so hard to come up with good titles and thumbnails. It's so hard to do all of this. And just to have somebody come in and like not even try to change it, like it's just come on.
I know, and it works for them. They just
Yeah.
steal it, re-upload it, and kind of
There's such a
no one's the
culture
wiser.
gap too that like no one's gonna go after them.
Yeah,
What
are you going to do?
You can't really say it's not like weighing on, Mr. Beast's audience at all. It's not like he's getting his views stolen, but at the same time, it kind of feels bad to like have your creative output kind of just, like presented by somebody else as their own.
Yeah, just 100% pinched.
Like,
I know.
imagine if someone started doing like all of your video topics, like like all the riddles and like interesting paradoxes and crap. You'd be like, what? Like what? Like no, like I'm the one. Like I did all the research. Like we paid to try to flesh this out and do this and do that, and now you just took it all from us.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I always go back to there was a stand-up comedian who, because this is like such a long-standing complaint within like the comedy scene, which is stand-up comedians stealing jokes, right? And I remember somebody said, if there's a person who has to rely upon stealing other people's stuff, eventually they're going to run out of that. And as long as you're the person who can come up with stuff to begin with,
Right.
that
You're in the
well
green.
is bottomless. You can always come up with new ideas, if you're that type
Comedy
of
is
person.
hard. I've had this realization, like like there was this joke that I had that was why what the, let me try to think. It's been a while. Like I think the gist of the joke is like new vegetarian hot pockets for those who don't eat meat but still want to have diarrhea. I don't. I thought that I had come up with that, like all like through high school, and then I saw a comedy special. Some comedian, it said the same exact joke, and I was sitting there and I was like, "Holy crap! Did I just like internalize that?"
Yeah, I
And then,
mean, probably. I mean, Jim Gaffigan is the famous comedian with the Hot Pocket jokes.
yeah, exactly. And that's exactly who it is. It's Jim Gaffigan, and I was just sitting there thinking to myself, like almost this weird, like I just had the carpet pulled out from under me, like realizing, did I just like, because I don't know when he said that joke, but I may have been younger and I may have just like overheard it because I remember like I'd go to my friend's house and his parents would always have comedy shows on the TV, and like it was in my head, but I didn't know where it came from, and I just like I thought it was my joke.
Yeah, it just burrowed into your subconscious until you thought you came up with it. That's amazing.
Seriously.
That definitely happens. Where you internalize things like that. And then you need other people in those situations to call you out on it, though. To be like, hey, that's not your idea.
Right. And then you're sitting there all confused because I genuinely thought, I genuinely thought that like I had at some point come up with a joke, and there was just like the origin of it was just literally gone, like not in my mind at all.
Yeah. And you can look it up on YouTube and it probably has 50 million views.
Right.
Let's get to some more questions. We're here live on stereo. This is Kevin from Vsauce 2 with William Osman.
Congrats, guys. You did it. I'm so proud.
We did it. We did it.
Stereo has the most.
That was lovely. That was so lovely.
I'm pretty sure I haven't actually submitted an audio question to anybody on this app, but I'm pretty sure like from the calls that we've done on it, I think that it might be really confusing for people like who want to record something because like every single time there's like a really awkward gap, and then they'll also resubmit the same question over and over again.
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's great. I like being able to interact with people listening on stereo.
Mhm.
Let's do some more.
Are you going to make any new BattleBot videos, like with drones, RC cars, or you know?
Ooh, good
Yeah,
question.
so I right now I need to fix it. It's a little bit broken. After we drove through the walls that we destroyed with the BattleBot, I one of the motor drivers broke. So something electronically failed. There was no like smoke or fire or anything. It just stopped working. So I have to replace that. That's like a $200 motor driver. So that's like sad robot noises. I do have an extra one. I have a spare from another project from a long time ago, but they're not cheap. And
Hmm.
then the bolts on one of the tread pods that mounted to the body, there's like I think it's like 4 bolts or 6 bolts or something that hold the tank treads to the center body on both sides. Those are like loose or bent. I don't know because the whole tread kind of like you can wiggle it. You can like grab the whole the whole right side of the robot and kind of like wiggle it around. But
Yeah.
I want to upgrade it. I want to upgrade the robot to make it so that I can control the center body position. Have you seen how much of the robot have you seen, Kevin? Have you seen any of it?
No, no, not much.
So it's like a robot from the show, and it like the center of it can pivot up and down, and it has like claws. But the problem is like the pivoting up and down is it's like current controlled, and so it just gets power, and the motor spins, and the center lifts. But when you stop giving it power, gravity will pull it down, and so it's really
Hmm.
difficult to control it because there's like a bunch of things you have to do at the same time. So I want to put a um, an encoder on. I actually have the encoder already and then track the position, the angle between, like where the lifter is essentially, and then send it current to keep it in that position. So use like a control loop, like a PID loop to maintain a position, like an angle. Just,
Oh,
not like a weapon
yeah,
upgrade or anything, but just more like a mechanic, a robotics upgrade, more
yeah,
automation.
control upgrade. Yeah. Our queue for questions is filling up, and I did all this work ahead of time because I have questions myself. So I'm going to hold off on the queue for a second, at least get some of mine out here.
Yeah.
Um, here's what I really want to know. Since you were talking about like spending money on projects, if
Yeah.
you had a Brinks truck of money pulled up to your house and you could spend it on any invention at all, do you have an idea of what it would be?
Yeah, okay. So this is a little bit sad because like one of the things that drives me nuts about YouTube is that if you do anything that costs any amount of money, people just get mad at you. And like some people can get away with it. Like Mark and Mr. Beast get away with it because it's like a part of their brand and people just like expect it. But when I do anything that involves any form of money, people just like get really mad.
Like what?
Um, I think not so much the tungsten cube because we had a sponsor and it's just like, it was very clear to say like, oh, the sponsor basically bought the cube for us. And it's like they did. The money that they gave us for the video paid for the cube. But like the battle bot, like I paid for that with my own money from, like selling t-shirts and stuff, but people still got mad about like, oh, like you're spending money on these stupid things and you could have built a battle bot for cheaper than that and so if someone wanted to give me a bunch of money and the context or pretext or whatever was you have to spend this on a science project or some sort of thing. There is something I do want to buy that's really expensive. You might be familiar with it. It's from the 1960s. It's a vending machine that makes injection molded plastic parts in front of you.
What?
Yeah. So it's called a moldorama. And I talked to the guy who kind of like the guy who maintains there's a bunch of them in Florida still. I've gone through the whole like process of like trying to get my hands on one and they're really expensive. They're really, really expensive. They're like $20,000, and
Whoa.
it's just another comedian just bought two of them. Who's the puppet guy? Dunham.
Jeff Dunham.
Jeff Dunham has two machines.
What do you do with them? What do you make?
Just you make a mold. You can get molds. They have molds, and so science museums and theme parks would buy them, and they'd have custom molds made, and then it injects this it's a special plastic that the manufacturer, it's some chemical company. They only make it once a year. They literally only set up their equipment to make this special waxy plastic once a year, and so it's you have to buy all your plastic from them. It's limited quantities.
This is the weirdest thing.
It is. It's really weird. It's really, really
why
weird.
Just once a year? Why just once a year? They're it's September 12th. Flip on the machine.
Don't buy enough. There's not enough demand for it, and so they can maybe only justify rechanging their whole pipeline for this specific plastic, in limited instances. So what I really want to do is I want to buy one of these things for it's worse because the lowest price I got for a machine that I could take a bunch of spare parts from the guy who maintains the ones at the theme parks and build my own, that was $20,000. The first person I talked to was trying to sell me one fully assembled for $35,000, and I was like, that's insanity. I'm not gonna pay. That's ridiculous.
Oh gosh.
So then another guy, I think he said he would do 24,000, but that's anyways. If I had a big truck of money, and I knew people weren't going to get mad at me for buying something crazy, that's what I would buy.
Yeah, I really want. We got to get to some questions here on stereo, but I was just going to say, markets dictate the value of items. It's amazing to me that there are enough people hypothetically willing to pay $35,000 for this. That's the price.
Well, Jeff Dunham, it's a bunch of crazy Hollywood people that remember these things from their childhood and are just willing. But what I wanted to do was buy one, make my own mold for it, and then hook it up to a website where you could buy an injection molded part from it, and it would then make it live for you, and then it would fall into a conveyor belt and get shipped.
Yeah. Well, it's a great idea. I'm sure that maybe we can find a sponsor to help you, make that happen. I really like it. I think it would be awesome. Let's hit up some more questions.
Okay.
Hey guys, just want to say you're doing a great job, and I'm proud of you guys.
Thank you, Sean.
Look at that.
Love you.
Just nice.
Was it the same person as earlier?
I don't know, but it's just nice to get these affirmations.
Hello.
Hello. You see what I'm saying? There's the awkward pause because they don't know if it's recording or not.
Well, Alexander70 says hello.
No, I meant what is up, as in the direction up. It's not the sky, because you could rotate 180 degrees.
Okay, listen here, Mark. If you want to talk about up is actually means literally nothing. If you start talking about up, when you start looking at the planet's coordinate in the solar system and trying to figure out what direction. I spent 2 months working on this project where I had to figure out how the hell coordinates within the solar system work, and what I realized is up means jack squat.
Yeah. Well, Michael from Vsauce 1 made a "What is down" video, so I feel like that applies.
Did he come to the same conclusion?
It's been a while since I watched it. I don't remember his conclusion, but
I feel like he
imagine
probably said down is up.
Yeah, it's probably vaguely in the ballpark of
Sounds like
what you just outlined. To blow your mind at the end, yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us on stereo. Here's some more questions.
What is William's worst invention?
I don't know. That's a hard question. See, worst is very similar to what is up, right? Worst is very relative. Worst
is there one that didn't work out?
There's one that was a little bit too dangerous. We tried putting a rocket motor on a skateboard, but we made the rocket motor ourselves, and we made it a little bit too good. and by too good, I mean it exploded.
Okay. Yeah, that's a
So,
problem.
I mean, we could have done it still because we did it pretty safe. It was like it was contained and it wasn't even on the skateboard at that point. It was just a test to see how much thrust it would produce. This is a long time ago. This is like in 2017 or 2016 or something. 2017, I think.
Was the
But
plan to actually have somebody ride this thing?
hell yeah.
How?
Dude, I
Without
put
just
rocket motors on a bicycle when I was in college. It didn't work super well. Because it turns out that I'm a fat ass.
But a bicycle seems a lot easier to handle than with
A
that sort of
skateboard.
propulsion than a
Yeah.
skateboard. It seems like it would just fly out from under your
Yeah,
feet.
yeah. Yeah, we like kind of did a test. We like took a pulley and hung a weight off of a deck, and then we tied the string to the skateboard to kind of feel like what, 70 or 60 pounds of thrust immediately felt like. And I think the answer was you kind of had to just crouch down and hold onto the front of the board and kind of lean forward. Um, and our 70-pound weight was actually it was two like gas tanks full of gas.
Oh my gosh.
It was the only thing we had.
Did that blow up?
No, it was just tied to a string. It was just hanging off the side of the deck. We just needed something to apply like a constant force.
Okay, I was
And
going to
we just
say
happened to
that
have
seems
two
like
tanks
a
of
problem.
gas that weighed close to 70 pounds, I think. Whatever.
Yeah, no big deal. Oh man. All right, let's hit some more questions here on Stereo.
What else are you planning to do with the BattleBot?
See, I told you, I'm telling you, it's confusing. There's something about it that's confusing.
I'm not confused at all. I totally understand. It's a great question from believe it was Russian Pickle. What else? What else do you have in mind for the
Just
BattleBot?
doing the center lifter position control instead of torque or current control. So you can set the position using the control stick, and then it tries to hold it there. Because what happens is like the forks drag on the ground, and like the wedge is meant for getting under other robots in competition. You want to have the best forks, because the best forks mean you get underneath. Getting underneath means you have control. So the problem is they drag on the ground, because that's like the most effective strategy. The problem with dragging on the ground is just a nightmare, because it just gets stuck on everything and just scrapes the crap at everything. So being able to like lift them off the ground a little bit, and then have the microprocessor try to maintain that like slight float. Have you ever driven a forklift?
No. Why?
Oh, it's kind of similar, right? Because like a forklift, like you could stick the forks on the ground and just drive around, and they're just gonna scrape the ground.
Yeah.
So what you do is you lift them off the ground a little bit when you're driving,
Mm-hmm.
and
That makes
so
sense.
that way you don't scrape the ground, but the forks sort of hold there with the hydraulic pressure. Whereas with the BattleBot, my forks they don't lift, they like rotate. They'll just sag back down and hit the ground again, and so you have to like constantly try to keep them floating so you don't scrape the floor and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah.
All right, let's take some more of your questions here on Stereo.
William, will you be on my podcast, Scarecasters?
I mean, maybe. Just send me an email. Send me an email and send me a list of previous podcasts. A burp, sorry.
That's okay.
Do you like Sour Patch Kids?
Yeah, Caretaker likes Sour Patch Kids a lot too. She's got a whole drawer full of not like bare Sour Patch Kids, but they're like the bags, not like Halloween sized bag, but like store sized bags, like single serving bags of Sour Patch Kids. They're okay. I think they're okay. She really likes them.
A drawer filled with them?
Yeah, like
That's amazing.
Like went to Smart and Final or something and like got like a bulk pack. It's kind of sad too, because the other day I was at the store, it was like a month ago, and I'm like a bag of Sour Patch Kids. Like I'll get her a bag of Sour Patch Kids, because I was at the store by myself. So I come home, and then I was like, wait a second, does she have some? And I opened the drawer, and the drawer is literally filled with like a dozen and a half of the exact same single bag that I just bought. So I just put it in there and just never told her.
Oh well, it was the thought that counted.
I know. I felt kind of stupid. I was like, Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
I just bought one of something that she has like 2 dozen of.
yeah, you should tell her though, man, because it's kind of weird that like now I know that information, but she doesn't.
She doesn't. Dude, it wasn't
Yeah.
even like they're labeled differently either. Like they literally exact same artwork, like not even the not labeled for individual sale kind of thing. Like it was
Yeah.
exactly the same stupid bag.
Oh my gosh. Well, before we take some more questions, one of the things that I thought was funny to mention was for anybody who's listening who doesn't know that I've been on YouTube for a million years. Back in 2012, I did a show called 54321, and it was kind of a variety show. It just was essentially an excuse for me to talk about things that I found interesting. And back in 2012, one of the things was like 4 strange invention origins, and one of them, which I went through it this morning and wrote them down. The one that I find the most interesting actually is that the pinata was invented in Asia, not Mexico.
That sounds right.
A,
I feel like
a
Asia's a
long time
lot of
ago.
like gift wrapping kind of things involving like paper, like or like tissue paper kind of.
Yeah, it dates back 700 years, so over 700 years, and originally they would make oxes covered in colored paper and fill them with seed, and then they would crack it open for New Year's.
Just seeds, like farm seeds.
Yeah, yeah, seeds.
Hmm.
They're like a harvest for, to have a good bounty for the year or whatever. As like a good
Right.
luck kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So now everybody listening knows that.
700 years ago.
Let's take some more questions. Thanks for hanging out with us here on Stereo.
Will you ever do another video with Michael?
Michael doesn't even do his own videos. The hell makes you think he's gonna do one with me? He asks me for ideas. Like sometimes he's like, "I need ideas," and then I give him ideas, and then I don't hear from him for a couple months.
I actually know of an idea that he has that would be phenomenal that he wants you to do. And I don't know if you know it. I don't want us to publicly announce it. We'll just talk about it offline
yeah.
afterwards. But I wish you guys would make that video because it would be awesome. This is probably really annoying to listen to, but I assure you that Michael has a great idea for William.
I like doing collaborative stuff. I think like the reason it's kind of funny because the only video that we did together was before we lived with each other. And it was the same idea twice, like 2 different ways, so that we both got a video out of it. His was like a machine that shocks him when he swears, and mine was a thing that dispenses condiments on a hot dog, and it's like voice activated. So it's like you can see like he did the voice activation, I did all the electronics and microprocessor stuff, and so it was simple. Like you have voice activation, trigger something, right? And it's just like you can just put it in 2 different directions. And after that, we literally never did another like full blown video because it's a lot of work, and it can be like kind of a challenge sometimes to like, oh, you help me with this, and then you're like, well, then I'll help you with that. But then it's like you end up doing 2 separate projects, and like a single project's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make
You would
sense?
think
Yeah.
hypothetically that you'd be sharing the workload, but instead it somehow amplifies it.
Yeah, so you end up basically just having to make 2 videos with 2 people, and so it's a lot of work, and that's fine and all, but I feel like so it's easier to do that with some people than others, and Michael, like his sort of the way he does his videos, it kind of makes it more difficult to collaborate.
Yeah. We talked about that. He was a guest on the Create Unknown several months ago. And
Oh, nice.
I was actually fascinated by his process because it's so iterative. It's so like little piece by little piece by little piece.
Yeah, he
which is,
puts
like,
it
not
together
at all how I
like
make videos.
from start to finish. He has no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, right. It's like a journey rather than it's not at all pre-planned whatsoever. He'll shoot
Right.
things and then edit it and watch it and then come up with more ideas after that. It's a very unique process, to say the least.
Right.
And I think
It
it's
definitely
good. It definitely
has
comes
its
across.
benefits, but it
Yeah.
also has it's got some huge disadvantages at the same time. But it also like because I've some of the stuff I've done recently is more in that vein of like filming and editing and filming and editing, because it makes it easier to edit because you're filming only stuff that you kind of really need. But it
Right.
also can be more difficult to make sure you're going in the right direction. Like it can be kind of weird to like try to control the narrative too much.
Hmm.
And sometimes weird
Yeah.
things, it can be difficult to like, I don't know.
Yeah. Not know where you're going with it. I definitely would
Right.
have trouble with that. The way that I work, I like to have an idea of how things are going
Right.
for sure, and not have it be a mystery, because it's so much stuff to try to keep track of along the
Mhm.
way. That was a great question. Let's take some more.
Hey, I was wondering if you could do like a video, like the remote control boat, because that was fun and entertaining. I think it would really go down well.
The battle boat where we pissed the, I don't know if we pissed them. I'm not sure. I feel like they were kind of okay. That one is, I feel like that's probably what he's talking about. Yeah, I kind of did one that I never finished editing because that was in the middle of the move and I never got back to it. And that was we kind of did the same thing and went down to like a combat robot event. And I made a little 3D printed robot that looked like a crab, and then we got a crab and we took the shell and we glued it to the top of the robot. The weapon was razor blades. There was 8 razor blades wrapped around like a 3D printed disc, and if you spin it fast enough, they were angled. It would actually lift off the ground. The front of the robot would pick up off the ground because the razor blades were like acting like a propeller.
I was gonna say it's like that scene in is it Raiders of the Lost Ark, where
Yeah.
Indiana Jones pushes the guy into the propellers, or into the
Hmm.
propeller of the plane,
And if you spin it up
chops him
fast
up.
enough, the razor blades would explode out of the center hub because it couldn't hold on to them, and then razor blades would go flying in every direction.
That would be a problem.
Yeah, it definitely did not happen.
It's a little dangerous.
Yeah.
Um, all right, we have so many questions, and I love hearing from everybody. So let's get to some more.
Teach the not red devil to put out fires too.
Could we teach the red not El Diablo how to put out fires? Yeah, probably. When Alan brought the giant sword over the other day to film at the house, I was thinking of mounting the sword to the robot. But that's the problem, is that's the lifter that's broken. Is it can move, it can push down, but it can't lift up because the motor driver works in 2 directions, and one of the directions is broken.
I want to hit another one of my questions here for you. Do you have a most underrated invention or overrated invention? Is this something that you have in mind? Do you have any things that you want to rant about that you think are underrated or overrated? Just in
Like in my
general?
real life, or
Yeah,
okay. Oh,
just in humankind.
That's a good question. I think 3D printers can be a little bit overrated.
Really?
Yeah, which is kind of funny because like I use it for a lot of stuff and they're really, really useful. But I feel like a lot of people overrate them and give them like way more practicality than they actually have. Like it's if you use a 3D printer, you have to like make sure that you're solving the problem in a way that's oriented towards 3D printing. And so it's not like you can just make anything. It's like you can make almost anything, but you also have to make it specifically for a printer. Um, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not useless at
Yeah.
all by any means, but it also is not as crazy as a lot of people think there. Because, like, what happens, a lot of people get a printer and then they're sitting there and they're like, what do I print? And then
Yeah.
they're like, uh-oh. And that's like almost every single person will find themselves in that position of like just printing knickknacks and crap.
Right. Little figures.
Yeah. I
What's
would
the
say
most useful thing that you've printed with one?
that's a good question. I mean, other than like stuff specifically for projects, like I've printed some prototype parts. I already printed a all these components for a little like a flight simulator stick to practice flying a helicopter in VR. So it's like a 80/20, which is like aluminum extrusion that people use for actually a lot of printers have 80/20 as like their main structure. It's like the aluminum bars that have like these kind of channels in them.
Mm-hmm.
And all the plastic pieces that join everything are all 3D printed. So I found the design was done by a guy named Tom Stanton. I don't know if you're familiar with his YouTube channel. And I'm just printing it, putting it together.
That's cool.
I would say like it's definitely useful. It's not necessarily useful for like everyday stuff though.
Yeah, it's not a magic item.
Yeah, exactly.
I think people, do
underrated.
romanticize it.
Yeah. I would say the most underrated invention I can think of. It's not really underrated, it's just underrated in the States. Are bidets.
Oh, that's a good answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
When
like
I was
people,
a couple years ago, I was in Japan, and their toilets are amazing, and it was very annoying to me how lousy
yeah,
our American toilets are.
yeah, everybody here thinks that it somehow is more disgusting to spray water on their butthole than to use a piece of paper wadded up in their hand. Yeah, at the same time, when they go in the shower, it's like the same thing. It's like, do people not clean their butts in the shower?
I don't know. I hope so.
Right? So then why is it weird to do it on a toilet?
I don't know. All I know is that the Japanese toilets are light years ahead of ours, and it's frustrating.
Chelsea, yeah, we bought one. We had to get our bathroom remodeled because it was very bad. It was very, very bad in this house, and so it was fixed up when we bought a bidet.
A bidet or one of the all-in-one toilets?
The all-in-one. It's a full blown Japanese toilet.
Does it have the heated seat?
Heated seat. The lid opens when you walk up to it. We were supposed to go to Hawaii last year, right before Corona happened, and so we had to cancel it, and then we just spent that money on a toilet instead.
Totally worth it.
Oh, dude, I honestly
get a lot more use out of that.
Seriously, I'm kind of glad.
I know. That's a much better life upgrade.
Seriously, I genuinely, when I go other places, like I hate not having that toilet. Like I love that toilet.
Oh man, we're falling behind on questions. So we should start rifling through some of these because I do appreciate it.
We'll
and thanks to everybody. No, I know,
right?
but thanks to everybody who's submitting them here on Stereo.
Hey William, I have a great idea.
We missed out on the great idea, unfortunately.
Will you ever do another video with Michael?
We did answer that question.
Not the same. I think it's the same person, though.
We did answer that one.
Will you be making videos with Michael in the future?
Yes, we did answer that question.
Are you ever going to do another video with Michael?
See, Kevin, I'm telling you, there's something really confusing about the question submission.
We did answer that question.
How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Bye now.
Thanks, Alexander.
Yes,
I'm thinking
a nice
microwave
hello.
that freezes things instead of cooking things.
That's an idea.
Microwave that freezes things.
That's more complicated, though. That's sort of the irony of what do they call it? Entropy, right? Where like energy kind of goes in one direction more easily than the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
really
they have glass chillers. That's kind of like that, right?
Yeah, but it's just like you still have to conduct. You have to conduct the heat out, and so like basically the best thing you can do is get a really low temperature, and then cycle it around the object to like get it so that the surface of the object is as cold as possible the entire time. Because like, the surface of an object, like an apple, if you're trying to cool an apple, like the surface will literally insulate the apple, and as the air around it gets colder, the surface will become the same temperature as the air, and then the air will it creates like this weird little buffer. And so like that's just conduction. Like conduction is slow. You want to convect by like moving that cold fluid or whatever you're working in a freezer. It would just be cold air by moving it. So like fresh coldness always has contact with the surface of the apple. Otherwise, you create like this little barrier, like air barrier, that slows things down.
Oh,
Does that make sense? I don't know.
right.
I'm not explaining it
Yeah.
super well, but
No,
you
no, that does
essentially
make sense.
yeah, because the
So,
bigger the temperature differentiation, the faster the heat transfer happens.
yeah, it sounds like instead of the opposite of a microwave, it's the opposite of like an air fryer.
Yeah, basically, that's the best you could do would be like an air fryer. Yeah, so it won't be as quick as a microwave, but it will be quicker than just putting it in the freezer.
Right, right.
Awkward pause.
So Gravy Matt
Awkward.
again, probably asking about doing a video with Michael.
Are you ever going to do another video with
It is.
Who else should I follow on Stereo?
What do you say?
Dirtbread asked who else he should follow on Stereo. I could
Cool.
say right off the bat that Jake Roper from Vsauce 3 is on Stereo now, so
I know
definitely follow
Philip
him.
Franco is too.
Yep, and Jack's Films.
Someone
So
gave me an invite to Clubhouse the other day, and I can't use it because it's iPhone only. I didn't know that.
lame. Well, luckily here at Stereo,
It's
we
both.
are.
Do
Yes,
everything.
yes, it is. It'll do everything you desire.
Hey William, I had a question. When do you think COVID's going to end?
Soon. I think by the end of the year things will be significantly more normal.
Yeah, that's generally what the people are saying. So the
Yeah,
vaccine is definitely everything.
yeah. If you had asked me at the beginning of the year, I probably would have been less optimistic. But I think I've seen a lot of like velocity going in the direction of immunization, and so I'm fairly confident that honestly in the next probably 3 months things will be coming back to normal. Not fully. It's still going to take people a second, but yeah,
That'll be nice. Yeah. I was
yeah.
just talking to Matt, who I work with on Vsauce 2 and also on the Create Unknown about how long it's been since we've seen anybody, man. Like,
Dude,
it's
VidCon was
been a long
canceled last year.
time.
Like VidCon was canceled, and then VidCon this year is kind of like I don't know what's going to happen. Like,
I
is
think
it
it's
too
just digital
close?
only, man. No, I think
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it's digital
Because
only
you
again.
still have kids, right? Like kids can't get vaccinated, so it's like, well, what's the deal with that? You know? Because VidCon is a lot of kids.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I'm not a spokesperson for VidCon, so I don't know. But
Right.
as of right now, I don't think that they're doing it again this year. I think it's going to be an online thing again.
We'll see.
So I don't know.
Hey, can you review my YouTube channel? Give me some feedback. It's called Sleep Cove. Thanks.
Sleep Cove. Yeah, actually, the way to get me to do that is probably on Twitch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like Twitch is I the problem with like if the instant you start like helping anyone with the YouTube stuff publicly, you can guess what happens.
Right, right. There's a flood.
There's a flood, and so it's like like I stopped opening mail on camera because it just every time we'd open mail, it would then be a huge surge of more mail. Like Casey Neistat had it real bad before he stopped doing it because it was like like fathomable how much stuff he would get, and if he tried to get through it, he would just give people more reasons to send him more stuff. Yeah, so Twitch is easy because it's like if I'm just on Twitch, we're just farting around, and
Right.
it's kind of like a slow opportunity to do that, and then also if too much of it happens, then it'll get either moderated or the chat will get all butthurt, like stop spamming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Because
That
that way
makes
it's not
sense.
just me saying no. It'll be like people don't really want to see this right now, and so it makes it a little bit easier for me to like say yes to doing it sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. But if there is time for it, then that works too. So yeah, I think that's a great place for it.
Are you still planning to do videos where you make things?
Yeah, I'm making stuff is hard. That's the problem, and like it a lot of times it can be difficult to like present the video in a way that people click on it. Like YouTube, basically, like it's like the past like maybe 20 videos I've done, the top ones are the most simple and easy to understand titles and thumbnails. Like, how small of a hole can my cat fit through? Like, that video performs the best, and YouTube gets really happy. They're like, oh, the algorithm's like, good job, for whatever reason. And so it can be difficult to like motivate myself to like build something if there's a history of it not doing as well as the easier to understand ideas. And so I'm trying to like find a middle ground between an idea that's easy to understand and building stuff. But even then, like, we're working on a project right now, and it's just like it's gonna take like weeks, and we already spent like a lot of time working on it, modeling, and a lot of software that has to be written. But we're gonna make a God mode game controller that basically converts a keyboard and mouse into a game controller, and so that you can trick the computer into giving you aim assist.
What?
Yeah, and then like, so if you play with a controller, the computer will give you aim assist because it levels the playing field between like console or like controller and keyboard and mouse. Because keyboard and mouse is like a superior interface for being accurate.
Yeah.
And so to balance it, they'll like help slow the cursor down as you approach your target if you have a controller. And so if you take a keyboard and mouse and you like pipe that into a controller to kind of produce a similar signal to give you keyboard and mouse input on a computer, you'll have the accuracy of a keyboard and mouse, and then the benefits of the handicap that you get, or I guess the inverse negative handicap that you get with a controller. And then you can do macros and stuff too. So you could do like, if you shoot a gun, there will be recoil, and you can then automatically apply downward input to counteract that recoil. So instead of applying down input manually, you just shoot, and the game automatically, or the controller automatically like goes down to like try to keep it level. You'd have to tune it by hand because it's not actually talking to the computer or the game. So you'd have like a little dial or something where you can like adjust how much down input per time while holding the fire button.
Yeah, that's an amazing idea.
And even better, like a pistol, right? So if you have a pistol, like a starter pistol, this is all centered around Warzone too. Starter pistol is semi-automatic, so when you shoot it, you have to like click the mouse really quick to shoot your pistol. So you could then also have automatic fire mode where the controller automatically, like, all you have to do is hold the cursor down, and it automatically is clicking at an interval to do automatic fire.
Right. Oh my gosh, fully automatic.
Yeah.
Fully automatic mouse.
Right, basically.
Let's take some more questions here on stereo.
Does the 50 people listening to this like feel really strange comparing to your large gatherings and followings on other social media platforms?
No, it's better. It's way better. Large followings are absolutely horrifying. Like the expectations, the sort of crowd mentality that can happen. Like, it's much like I don't care as long as I can pay my bills. Like, whatever. Like, social media can like really mess with your head too, especially if people focus too much on views. Like, it'll basically like make you feel like you did a bad job. Like, oh, I did a bad job because less people watched me today or whatever. Like, that's not it's not a good place to be.
No, and it's not like a game you can ever really win. There's no end to that. It just goes on forever.
Right.
So, it's not super healthy to be stuck in that kind of mindset.
Yeah. God bless the internet.
How close are you to making partner on Twitch? Also, what do you think you'll do to cultivate a comfortable experience in chat?
I was like 2 days away from being able to apply for partner, and then I stopped because I had to finish a video. This is like a month or a little over a month ago. So now I think I have four out of 30 days, so I have to keep going for another 8 days. So but like I said, I just I could email. We have a contact. Like, I could email and ask for them, but like I just don't. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I don't care. I'm not gonna cheat. I'm gonna try to do it myself. And I think I don't have any problem with chat right now. Chat's really good. It's very like just kind of being not like strict, but just not really encouraging or letting people be bad and giving timeouts for bad behavior. There's a couple of moderators who help, but it's not like crazy enough where you have to actually like pay really close attention. Like, it's self-regulating, if that makes sense at this point.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's a blessing.
Yeah, I haven't really.
Would it be possible for you guys to say hi? Because I'm kind of new to this app and I don't really understand it.
Hi, Henry.
Hi, Henry. Thanks for joining Stereo so that you could listen to us. That's awesome. I'm glad that you're here and hope you're having a good time.
You're already miles ahead.
Miles ahead. Yes.
We'll just see.
Way
We'll
ahead
see
of
how
you.
many times that question was resubmitted, though. Then we can say.
Have a big nut. Have a big nut today. Have a big nut. Have a big nut. Have a big nut.
That's interesting.
Do you
That's an
guys like
interesting song.
Sour Patch Kids, or am I just addicted?
You're addicted. You have an addiction.
Yes. You need
Have
to
a big
speak
nut.
to
You need to have a big nut
professional.
instead of Sour Patch Kids. Have a big nut. Have a big nut.
Hey guys, hi Kevin, hi Will. What is your guys' favorite ice cream?
I like pistachio ice cream.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
There's
I
also.
don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Oreo I like a lot actually.
I would say like if I had to choose like a plain flavor, it would be pistachio because it's like it has like a kind of amaretto, like almondy, like marzipan flavor that I like a lot. The other one I really like is anything that's kind of salty. There's like a Netflix and chill, I think Ben and Jerry's flavor. I think that's what it's called. Netflix and chill.
I don't know. I'm not a big ice cream guy. I don't think I know
Me neither.
too
I'm
much
not,
about it.
but that one I like that Ben and Jerry's one. It's kind of salty. Yeah,
Yeah. I don't think I've had salty ice cream before.
it's not like crazy salty.
Let's
It's got, like, pretzels.
let's take a few more questions here before we wrap up tonight here on Stereo.
What is the status of the chicken nugget in the back of the car?
Oh man, he's crispy. That boy crispy. He hard.
What's going?
He like a
What's up
rock.
there?
In the back of my car. There's a chicken nugget. Yeah,
That's
I'm pretty
it?
sure it's completely dehydrated at this point. I don't think there's much water left.
Can you take a picture of it at some point and share it?
I was thinking of doing a video on my second channel that was I left the chicken nugget in my car for 6 months.
Is the
You
video
see what
30
I'm
seconds
saying
long?
about the simple titles and thumbnails?
Yeah, that's a good one.
But it's like it's so dumb. You know, I'm not building anything. I'm a gross person.
I know it is dumb, but if TikTok has taught us anything, it's that dumb is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then people get mad.
Like
It's like dumb is good, but then people are like, when are you gonna make a robot? And I say, ah.
Yeah.
Do you
I
have
guess not anytime
Do you have
soon.
any chicken nuggets in your car?
No, I don't. Maybe I should get one.
Maybe.
Maybe I should get one and leave it in there until you make your video and then drop mine the next day and say
That's
that it was in
a
there.
month longer.
Yeah, yeah, just to
I
one
left
up
the one
you
in my car for
immediately.
7 months.
Yeah. Take that, William Osman. Let's take a couple of more before we wrap up.
You need to figure out what the legality is to have a person fight against the battle bot.
I feel like that would be oh man. I mean, don't people sign up for war and get exploded? So what's the difference?
What? Well, okay. Let's shift gears like in a little bit here, and let me ask you: what would the human need to fight a battle bot? Like what
Bucket of
weapons?
water. You'd beat the living shit out of a
super
battle bot
soaker?
if you had a 5-gallon bucket of super soaker or a 5-gallon bucket of water, you'd win.
There's no sort of like waterproof shielding that the battle bot could have.
Not really. There's no reason to.
Yeah.
Like some
No,
of
but
the
if
stuff
there
might
was
be
a reason
conformal
to.
coded. Some of the electronics might be conformal coded where it has like some water resistance, but you just like they're never. I mean, like they're not like fighting anywhere near water or anything. It's against the rules to have any like fluids. Like you can't spray water. Like that's against the rules.
Yeah. So, I'm just imagining a scene that's I don't know why I'm referencing Raiders of the Lost Ark again, but the scene where Indiana Jones is going up against the guy, the sword expert, and
And he
he's just
pulls that
waving the
super
sword around.
circle.
And he's so tough,
And
and then he just shoots it. Yeah, and it's the
right.
same thing with the BattleBot does like 90 different amazing attacks, and then
You
some guy
spray
just
with
pees
water.
on it.
Yeah, yep. Oh, pee would be way worse than water too. I think pee is significantly more conductive.
And then that's it. And it just smokes and then comes to a halt.
Yep. You'd have to make sure you could get it in somehow. So like you have to figure out where like the vent is for the motor drivers and everything. So I try to get cool air in.
Yeah, just aiming it properly. It's
Yeah,
like
so peeing would be an advantage. I mean, that's why the bucket would work, because you just like get so much water everywhere that you're bound to get something in somewhere.
Right.
But peeing could be more strategic and aim.
Yeah, and it'd be a lot more entertaining as well.
Right.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us here on Stereo. We'll take one more question.
Can not Red Devil make a fire for Jimmy Neutron to put out?
Or can Red Devil make a fire for Jimmy Neutron? I mean, I don't know, maybe. We could do one more.
Okay. All right. One more.
Do you guys like Sour Patch Kids or?
Okay, one more.
All right, one more after that. We got the Sour Patch Kids one.
I have a suggestion for world's worst inventor. Thomas Midgley invented tetraethyl lead, which led to widespread lead poisoning, and he also invented chlorofluorocarbons, which led to the creation of an ozone hole over Antarctica. And as a fun fact, he actually died from one of his contraptions. Essentially, he suffered a motor neuron disease later in life, and so the contraption, which was made of all these strings and pulleys, basically strangled him. So Thomas Midgley Jr., go discuss him.
I think the moral of that story is science, not even once. All the legit scientists died from the crap they did.
I know.
Like they all died. Like I've been doing a bunch of research on X-rays, and it's just like anything with like X-rays and radiation, like it just killed them all later in life. Like some of them died much quicker. I think I watched a Kyle Hill video, like Demon Core or whatever, where he talks about the crazy like self-avalanching like shielding that you can. It's just like nuclear bomb crap, and they just like two people just immediately died like within weeks of a couple of experimental accidents, and then like everyone else just like kind of died way later, but still died because of it. Like,
yeah. Well, when you're messing around with that stuff in the beginning, nobody really knows what the effects are going to be. I mean,
when people get mad at me for
default.
using power tools, they haven't seen shit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, look up some radiation experiments.
Yep, like government endorsed by real scientists.
Yeah, now that is hardcore science. That was an amazing comment, but not really a question. So we'll end off our stereo discussion with one more question.
If I gave you $50 each to go to Walmart, what would you buy?
Oh, that's such a good question. Holy crap. Honestly, probably food.
No, that's what I thought of immediately as well. It's like I have to go food shopping, so let's see, bread.
I would buy like, I'm trying to think, it's not like something I particularly need. You can't really buy anything cool for $50. Like a Lego set, that's not $50. That's like $100. Yeah, probably just some like epic snacks. Maybe some beer.
Beer at Walmart? I don't think they have beer at Walmart.
Beer? What? Well, maybe not. Maybe not really. We have cool Walmarts here.
The adult Walmart after dark.
Yeah, Walmart after. You have to go to the curtains in the back to get to the beer.
Yeah. The beaded curtain. Yeah. Somebody checking IDs on the other side of it. Welcome to adult Walmart.
Welcome to Walmart after hours.
Oh my gosh.
Jabril is listening to this. He just texted me $50 Amazon gift card, easy.
Dude, that's awesome.
Immediately took
Of course, he has
$50.
a way better idea than either of us. Of course.
Yeah, but even you can't buy beer on Amazon, so I will spend my $50 in Walmart. Also, that's against the spirit, Jabril. You broke the rules.
Yeah, yeah. I know. You know what? He did the he wished for the genie to just grant him infinite wishes. That's what he did.
Yeah, and then the genie gave him no wishes.
Oh man. Well, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us here on Stereo. This was a blast. I really enjoy your questions, even when they're repeats about Sour Patch Kids and whatnot. It is really fun to do. I really enjoy it. And thank you for doing this, William. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Well, everybody have a good night or good morning or wherever you're at in the world. And check out a week from Wednesday. I'll be back here live on Stereo with Jake Roper from Vsauce 3.
Nice.
You do not want to miss that. You do not want to miss that. Set your calendar. You can find it in the Stereo app. The event is already created and waiting for you. So until then.
See you later, gamers.
We'll talk to you later. All right. See ya.
Bye, gamers.